stacks and stacks and stacks of 78s added to the collection here at Tone and Grooves. I'm going to share with you what I've been finding, what's going into the collection. That is what's coming up next. Hello, vinyl community, music lovers, shellac stackers, 78ers, fellow enthusiasts of old-time vintage music on 78 RPM records. Welcome to Tone and Grooves, and anyone else who just happened to stumble upon this video, welcome to Tone and Grooves. My name is Jeff, and this is a shellac stacks video. Have lots and lots of 78s coming into the collection. A whole box that I've been going through and cleaning up and putting into the collection. So I'm going to share some of those with you here in this video. Lets you take a peek, a gander, if you will. Just share with you what I've been finding and give you a chance to, chime in, share some feedback. Maybe you want to make some requests for upcoming shellac stack listening sessions, etc., etc. So that's what this video is. Music in the background, if you'll be able to hear it, I'm not sure. I've got a new lapel mic thing, and I'm actually going to turn the music down a little bit because it's a little bit loud for me. So I don't know if this is going to pick up the music coming out of the speakers on the stereo, but if it does, what's playing in the background anyways, little Bing Crosby. Found this two CD set that I picked up at a Half Price Books in Madison, Wisconsin here not too long ago. It's called The Lost Columbia Sides, 1928 to 1933. It's a Sony Music CD, but it's on the Collector's Choice label. Can't show you the CDs, they're in the player. But all, obviously music from 1928 to 1933 on the Columbia label. So really good stuff in here. This is his more jazzy era, so really, really cool stuff. That's playing in the background. Got that for like $6 at Half Price Books. Anyway, got lots of 78s that I'm bringing in. I'll give you a little bit. You can see they're stacked up. I'll just pan down a little bit. On the floor there in front of my 78 RPM boxes. I've been going through and cleaning and getting these ready. Cleaning them, inventorying them, getting them ready to. I'm going to have to do some reorganizing in the collection here because most of my boxes are like really full. So I got it, but I have a couple of empty boxes, and so I need to spread some things out and whatnot. So they're just kind of sitting out here on the outside of the boxes, prepped for a reorganization. So that's going to take some time. So while they were sitting out here, I thought, hey, I'll do a video and show folks what I've been adding to the collection. So some of these, the bulk of these I picked up in Northwest Wisconsin before we made the move down here to the Milwaukee area. I had a bunch of 78s that I had culled out of the collection that I wasn't going to keep, and had some, just some various odds and ends, 78s that I just didn't want, and I really didn't want to move all of those. So I actually essentially made a trade with a guy who collects and sells 78 RPM records up in Northwest Wisconsin, and so came away with a bunch from that deal. And then since being down here in the Milwaukee area, I have found a few, not a lot. Haven't really gone out specifically hunting for 78s. Been going to like half-price books and record stores, and but have found a few at an antique store in the area, and some at some record stores and whatnot. So those will be in here too. So anyway, yeah, let's take a gander. And I don't know, we'll see how long this takes. May not even get through them all in this video. It might be a two-parter, but first up is and I don't know who this artist is. This is on the Chyrophone label. Let's go this way so that we can get a little more light on it's on the Chyrophone label from the 40s, I believe. So this is it's all in Arabic. The writing's all in Arabic. It says made in Greece, but it's I don't know, Arabic, kind of Middle Eastern sounding music. I don't know much about it. I can't. Did some research, tried to find it. Tried using Google Translate to see if I could figure it out, and haven't come up with anything yet. So I'm not really even sure what that one's all about. It sounds kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of Middle Eastern, traditional Middle Eastern music. So, got a number of Andrews Sisters. This one actually, there's a new thrift store right here in McGuanago that just opened up right before Christmas, and so I went in there and did some digging around. They had a few records, a couple of albums of 78s, and found 178 to take home and all of that. What I picked up for $1 was the Andrews Sisters' Begin the Begin. And on the back, we got Long Time No See. What? So that's on the Decca label, obviously, from 1939. Andrews Sisters with Bob Crosby's Bobcats on the Decca label. Let's see. This I picked up at an antique store in the area. Paid $2.50 for this. It's actually an upgrade copy for my collection. I had this in the past. It was actually in the lot of 78s that got me into collecting 78s. It was a couple, 2, 3, maybe 4 boxes of 78s that a couple from church gave to me. Probably 100, 200 records. And in there was this record, which it's a great song. Both sides are really great. The copy that I got for free in that lot is playable, but it's really worn. It's got the pretty heavy groove wear, and so I've always been keeping an eye out for an upgrade copy. And I found one at an antique store in the area for $2.50. And this is the Andrews Sisters Strip Polka. And on the flip, you've got Mr. 5x5. So really cool. This is a great record. Fun couple of songs and just good stuff. And I'm not sure the date on that. Anyway, but from the 40s anyway. And we got some more Andrews Sisters here. These were, I think the rest of these were in that trade deal that I made. We got the Blossoms on the bow, and Open Door, Open Arms. Andrews Sisters with we got here the Leo Gordon Singers on the Decca label. That's from 1949. And then we got a late one. This one, I believe I also picked this up at that antique store for $2.50 from 1951. We got I Remember Mama and My Mom. So I have not listened to that one yet. 1951. That's a late Andrews Sisters record. Let's see. This was in that trade deal. This is on the Columbia label from 1945. You got Count Basie and his orchestra. That's a song called Jimmy's Blues. And then on the flip, you got Taps Miller. So from 1945 on the red label Columbia. Also in that trade deal, great record here from 1946. Again, Count Basie and his orchestra. This song is Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Pennsylvania. But the title is the abbreviations. And then you got Mutton Leg on the flip side. So great record. Really, really good songs there from 1946. Count Basie. This was, like I said, most of these were in that trade deal. So assume they were in that trade deal unless I tell you otherwise. This is on the Capitol label from 1944, a little jazz. It's actually from an album, but it's just the one record. From 1944, you got the Capitol Jazzmen, Casanova's Lament, and In My Solitude. You've got, let's see here. It's pressed. This one's weird. It's pressed off, or the label's off center. Hard to read. But anyway, you've got Jack Teagarden on trombone and vocal on the Casanova's Lament. Joe Sullivan on piano. Jimmy Noon on clarinet. Zuddy Singleton on drums. Dave Barber on guitar. Dave Matthews on tenor. And Billy May on trumpet, and Art Shapiro on bass. Capitol Jazzmen, which apparently was a studio band, not an actual, functioning band outside of the studio. We got some Hoagie Carmichael on the ARA label, American Recording Artists. This is 1945. No More Toujours L'Amour. And on the flip, you got Vine Street Parade. Again, from 1945, Hoagie Carmichael and his orchestra. And then another Hoagie Carmichael, also on our ARA, from 1945, Hoagie Carmichael and his orchestra, How Little We Know, and Hong Kong Blues. So really cool. I dig Hoagie Carmichael. Really dig Hoagie Carmichael. So that was a couple good pickups there. This is one that I picked up at a record store here in the area. I think I showed this in a video. Pretty sure I did. Yes, I found this at Acme Records over in Milwaukee. This is from 1947. Arnett Cobb and his orchestra, and you got Top Flight on the Apollo label, and the flip is Walkin' with Sid. 1945. Arnett Cobb and his orchestra. It highlights people here: Arnett Cobb tenor sax, Walter Buchanan bass, David Page trumpet, George Rhodes piano, Al King trombone, and George Jones on drums. Arnett Cobb and his orchestra, great stuff. I dig Arnett Cobb. I have a number of a couple of his records on the Prestige. He made a number of albums for the Prestige label. And I've got a number of things on CD. But anyway, let's move back here. Got a number of Bing Crosbys. These were in that tray that I talked about. Also from albums, but individual records. They're in fantastic shape. So these are pressed in 1943. They're represses of earlier records. So the originals are from 1931, but the records themselves are from 1943. On Brunswick, you've got Out of Nowhere. And If You Should Ever Need Me on the Brunswick label. Again, 1931 recordings, 1943 records. Got a number of these. Same years. You got Goodnight, Sweetheart, and Too Late. And then we've got, this is, Stardust and Dancing in the Dark. Stardust, Dancing in the Dark. We have another one. One more. Many Happy Returns of the Day. And At Your Command. At Your Command. Bing Crosby. I dig Bing Crosby. I really like Bing Crosby, and especially the early stuff. Although I'm just a sucker for Bing Crosby. Anyway, got some more Bing Crosby. This is Bing Crosby with Les Paul and his trio from 1945 on the Decca label. It's been a long, long time. Song famous now for its appearance and feature in the Avengers movies. The original there shown in the Avengers movies in two different ones. One's a Captain America movie, I believe, I think. And the other one is in the last Avengers movie. Is Harry James. It's a recording by Harry James from 1947. It's on the Columbia label. If you find that, especially cheap, pick it up, because it's now like a $50 to $100 record, depending upon pressing and condition and all that. Anyway, it's been a long, long time. Bing Crosby with Les Paul and his trio, and then Whose Dream Are You on the flip, and this is from 1945. It's another Bing Crosby. This time, it's a flip. Or a split. You got Bing Crosby and Eddie Condon in his orchestra. And that song is Personality. Great song. Very cool. This is from 1946. And then the flip side is Bing Crosby with John Scott Trotter in his orchestra. The song is Would You? Not such a great song on that side. Very syrupy. But the Personality side is really great. Very, it's kind of Dixieland style jazz, good stuff. More Bing Crosby. This time Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters from 1944, also on the Decca label. You've got Don't Fence Me In, and on the flip you got the Three Caballeros. Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters from 1944. And that's it for the Bing Crosby. And we got Bob Crosby. This is on the Decca label from 1941. Bob Crosby and his orchestra, Elmer's Tune, and the flip is The Angels Came Through. The Angels Came Through. Got a little Jimmy Dorsey and his original Dorseyland Jazz Band. This is from 1949. It's on Columbia. A white label promo. One side you got Charlie My Boy, great song. So we got this cool Columbia white label promo. And then on the flip, we got Johnson Rag. Both great songs. Really good. Really good. I love the Charlie My Boy side. Vocals by Claire Shanty Hogan. You got Charlie. Oh, and Charlie Teagarden is on the Charlie My Boy side. Vocals by Charlie Teagarden. Clarinet, Jimmy Dorsey. Trumpet, Charlie Teagarden. Drums, Ray Boddick. Trombone is Cuddy Cutshall. Piano is Dick Carey. Guitar, Carl Kress. Tenor sax, Frank Maines. And bass is Bill Lolate. Jimmy Dorsey and his original Dorseyland Jazz Band on a white label promo. Great record. Really great record from 1949. I believe this is the first record in my collection by this leader. It's Roy Eldridge from 1946. Roy Eldridge and his orchestra on Decca. Rockin' Chair. And on the flip, you got Yard Dog. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Kind of a trad jazz style big band. And then we got another one of those Brunswick reissues from an album. This is the original year is 1931 again. The record itself is from 1943. Duke Ellington and his orchestra, Rockin' in Rhythm. And on the flip, you got 12th Street Rag. Another great record. Good stuff. And then this is this is kind of interesting. I'm kicking the camera stand there. Interesting record. This is on Decca from 1937. Original Sunburst label, which is super cool. This is Freddy Fisher and his band. I don't really know anything about Freddy Fisher. I just grabbed this record. Again, it was in that trade. So, like basically, well, I don't know, it wasn't free, but, I got rid of records I didn't want to get records that I do want. So basically free. I bought it not knowing who Freddy Fisher is. I got it for the titles. So you got Red Hot Mama on the A side, and on the B side you got Tiger Rag. Tiger Rag. Those are like classic jazz tunes. It's a good record. It's really interesting. It's a kind of a novelty band kind of sound. Similar, but not as quite as corny or goofy, if you will, as Hoosier Hot Shots, but a similar kind of sound. Cool record from 1937, because it's original Sunburst label. Freddy Fisher and his band. Red Hot Mama, Tiger Rag. 21 minutes. We'll go a few more minutes. Why not? A bunch of Benny Goodman records. Mostly on Columbia. This one's from 1941. Benny Goodman and his orchestra. Caprice 24 Paganini. And on the flip, you got I'm Here. Oh, there we go. More Benny Goodman from 1942. This one I believe I bought at the antique store in the area for $2.50. We got Benny Goodman's. Oh, this is the Benny Goodman Sextet. Benny Goodman Sextet from 1942. Wang Wang Blues. And on the flip, The Way You Look Tonight with vocal by Peggy Lee. Great record. Some more Benny Goodman from 1944. Again on Columbia, Benny Goodman and his orchestra. You got After You've Gone and At the Darktown Strutters Ball. 1944 on the Columbia label. Good stuff. Benny Goodman is one of my favorites as far as jazz, early jazz, big band music. Benny's one of my favorites. Let's see here. Here's another Benny Goodman. So this is kind of an interesting deal here. I'm gonna, so what we've got here is, let's see, we'll go this way. So the first one I have is a Columbia record from the record is from 1948. The song is from 1940. The songs are from 1942. Benny Goodman and his orchestra. You got Jersey Bounce. And then on the flip, you got A String of Pearls. So on the Columbia label, again, from 1948, but the songs were recorded in 1942. The original, so this is a reissue. This is a Columbia reissue of songs that originally appeared on the OK label, which was OK was Columbia's, one of Columbia's budget labels, if you will. So RCA Victor came out with the Bluebird label, and they did a lot of like, jazz, some big band, some blues, some hillbilly kind of type music on their Bluebird label, which was a budget label at a lower price. To compete, Columbia came out with the OK label, and this is the original issue of that record from 1942. It's OK number 6590. So again, Benny Goodman's Orchestra, Jersey Bounce, and String of Pearls on the Columbia OK label, which I read somewhere this was price on these was 35 cents. Let's see. Got some Woody Herman and his orchestra from 1946. Everybody Knew But Me. And the flip is Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. Which it has been here in Wisconsin earlier this week and last week. It's been snowing. It's cold. 1946. Woody Herman and his orchestra. Some more Woody Herman from 1946. Columbia got Blowing Up a Storm and Fan It. Great songs. This is a really good record. Swinging tunes, good stuff. Some more Woody Herman. Columbia from 1946. If It's Love You Want. Good song with a vocal by Woody Herman, and Wrap Your Troubles in Dreams. Wrap Your Troubles in Dreams. Again from 1946. We got some more Woody Herman. Got a lot of Woody Herman. From 1947, Woody Herman with the Four Chips. This is a song, two songs, obviously. Across the Alley from the Alamo. And who does the vocal on that? Well, the Four Chips. Anyway. And then There's No Greater Love. Woody Herman and his orchestra. Oh, no. Not Woody Herman and his orchestra. Literally, Woody Herman accompanied by the Four Chips. From 1947. Some more Woody Herman. This time on Decca. Woody Herman and his orchestra from 1939. You got The Sheik of Araby and Paleface from 1939. You know what? I'm just going to bring these over here, and then I don't have to keep, bending backwards, basically. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. From 1941 on Decca, you've got Hurry Back to Sorrento. Not the best song. But the flip is good. I really like the flip. Oh, Look at Me Now on Decca from 1941. And another Decca, Woody Herman and his Woodchoppers from 1941. You've got South and Fan It again on Decca, 1941. Great record. Another Woody Herman, 1942. Down Under and 10-Day Furlough on the Decca label from 1942. This was one that I picked up at Bullseye Records in Milwaukee. Bullseye Records on the north side of Milwaukee, but not too far north. I mean, it's relatively close to downtown. This is from 1920 on Columbia. This is Art Hickman's orchestra. You got La Vida, and the flip is Tell Me Little Gypsy on the Columbia label. Bought that for $2.99 at Bullseye Records. And I think we'll go last one in this batch because we're at 30 minutes. Last one in this batch is on the Capitol label from 1953, little Dixieland jazz, so some trad jazz. You got Pee Wee Hunt and his orchestra, O, and the flip side is San. O and San from 1953 on Capitol. Pee Wee Hunt and his orchestra. Good stuff. That's the first batch of 78s added to the collection. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for hanging out. Anything you'd like to hear in a Shellac Stacks listening session, let me know. Just want to chime in, share some info. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, you know. Give a thumbs up to records in here, or say, man, why would you even consider putting that in your collection? We can have those conversations. Anyway, thanks for watching. Drop some comments, always appreciate that. And until next time, stay in the groove.